What fake thing that happens in movies pisses you off? In British soaps, which are shite in general. Everyone goes to the pub every day but no one ever gets drunk. They also order a pint, take one sip and then just leave. Shooting the monitor is a way of stopping the computer after a hit to the head or being knocked unconscious. People are fine after a minute. Concussions don't seem to exist in movies. Gift wrapping the box and the lid separately. I mean, I get why they do it. Multiple takes. But it always sticks out to me. Also, every bag of groceries has French bread. How terrible the bad guys are at shooting. Movie depictions of childbirth are often ridiculously wrong. They make it look so easy, quick, and clean. This is not the case. People sneaking around inside air ducts. Don't get me wrong. In big buildings you absolutely can walk around in there. I've done it a lot. But 1. They're dirty as sin. Not gleaming metal. 2. There are screws poking in there and sharp edges everywhere. 3. There are lots of barriers to movement. Fans, filters, humidifiers, dampers and fire dampers. All of those would stop your progress. 4. It's not a quiet process. That metal bongs and clunks like crazy under your weight. Whenever some idiot is running on foot while being chased by a car that's trying to run him down, they without fail always run straight down the middle of the street. When all they have to do is simply run off to the side where there's trees and lampposts and plenty of other shit to block them from getting hit. In that case, I always root for whoever's driving. The old out of the blue intentional T-bone car accident. Like the bad guy is psychic and knew when and where to be. And is totally immune to the flow of traffic so they could time it just right to T-bone someone in an intersection. Absurd. Not to mention it never seems to actually succeed in causing the death of the intended victim. Nor does the bad guy ever seem to get injured at all. Acting like an easily removable piece of duct tape silences someone. Homes are always spotless and ridiculously large. Slight inconveniences that could easily be solved that are the main conflict of the movie. That a sample can be DNA processed in 2 minutes so you know who your killer is. When the plot necessitates the protagonist to be unconscious for several hours due to a blow to the head, then she just regains consciousness, shakes their head a few times, and is back to normal. I've had several concussions from sports in my life, and only one where I lost consciousness, and that was for maybe several seconds. For that one I spent weeks fighting nausea, headaches, and vision problems. My mood was impacted for months. There's no way I could just get up and start kicking ass after being out for several hours. Any scene where chloroform knocks someone out in 2 seconds, I feel like Rio officially has gone too far. The phone rings and the actor picks up the handset, listens for 2 seconds. Oh really? Quote, 1 second later. When? 1 second later. I'll be right there. Hangs up without saying goodbye. The actor turns around and relays a 30 seconds of details that he just learned in only 4 seconds. Women's hair is always perfect after a crazy action sequence. They're also wearing heels all the time, no matter what crazy stunts they're doing. EMTs, doctors, random hero person using a defibrillator on a person that has flatlined. That is not how it works. You shock a flatline and all you do is make the patient even more dead. Flatliners get drugs to get their hearts beating, and then get shocked if that beat is abnormal. Zoom in on that. Can you make it clearer? Sure. No problem. 2 MPCC TV screen grab. Romantic dramas. Some stupid miscommunication that could have been resolved with 5 minutes of conversation and a phone call turns into some feature-length bullshit. The fresh-out-of-college student scoring a great apartment in a swanky part of town while working minimum wage job for themselves. In reality, you'd have 4 roommates for such a place. Or you're living in a dump in a bad part of town. When an actor clearly has no idea how to play the instrument they're holding. They don't have to be an expert. But Christ, someone show them where their fingers are supposed to go. Or stop focusing the shot on their fingers. When they give a person CPR and the person walks away unscathed. When you give proper CPR, you are essentially breaking ribs to pump the heart, and sure, it doesn't happen to everyone, but still see a doc after that. And anything medically related like EpiPens being used, then magically all normal. All of these require being looked at a doctor, emergency care directly afterward. When someone is driving, and they look away from the road by looking at the person in the passenger seat for a prolonged amount of time. Or when they're constantly turning the wheel and the car doesn't move. Things like that bother me too much lol. Setting off fire alarm, fire sprinklers. 1. Pulling a fire alarm will not activate fire sprinklers. 2. Setting off a single sprinkler head will not set off the entire system. Each fire sprinkler has either a glass bulb with heat-sensitive liquid or a metal fusible link. You need to essentially break the bulk link on each individual sprinkler to allow the water to flow. 3. The water leaving the sprinkler system will be black from the years of corrosion that occurs inside. Due to the stagnant water. You do not want to be around this water when it comes out. I design these systems. I know how this shit works. Drowning revivals. Victim is pulled blue from the water. Couple of chest compressions. Hero through gritted teeth says, "Don't you die on me, goddammit." Small arc of water shoots from the mouth of the victim as they cough twice and immediately regain consciousness. Sit up and ask what happened. And #X200B. Alright. Firing guns in enclosed spaces, not deafening anyone. The member of the group that sacrifices themselves for no reason. In action movies, the hero, often alone, faces an army of elite trained veterans armed to the teeth, but they can't seem to know how to shoot, take cover, use tactics or fight.